This is our sort of improvised low line or small line size, low flow gravimetric calibration stand setup. And our water's coming in from the left side. We got an RTD here at this cross that's sensing the temperature of the water. That's coming to our temperature transmitter, showing 68.299 degrees. Water's flowing into our test meter, which is actually one of our master meters, which is connected to our DP transmitter. And we're only showing 0.7 inches because that 1 inch master meter is not going to generate a lot of differential pressure at this low flow. So our water, again, going left to right, goes up into our hose here, goes into a nozzle, which is flowing out through the trough into a sump tank or reservoir. When we operate the solenoid, it'll pull the nozzle back and divert water into the bucket. Which isn't the best setup for a diverter, but it was a kind of a proof of concept setup that actually works fairly well. Again, everything kind of cobbled together from stuff we had in the shop for the most part. That piston is controlled by our control panel here. The green button diverts the water into the bucket, which automatically starts the timer at the same time. Our multimeters here, the left one is our flow rate, the right one is just the output from the temperature transmitter. All we really care about is the milliamp value here. So the way it would operate is when you hit the green button, it diverts water. I start recording the average milliamp value, and then we let it run until that bucket is pretty much full, about 33 pounds. And as it's running, the scale is taking the weight, and our timer is keeping time. So if you can imagine that we've pretty much filled the bucket, we're getting right to the point where it's full. Just before that, I'd hit hold on there and stop the timer. Which also is, well, the timer is actually stopped by the diverter diverting the water. So when the nozzle moves past that optical sensor, it automatically stops the timer. So in this case, you've got 30.378 seconds with a milliamp value of 4.158 over that run as the average, and we've collected 2.98 pounds of water. So that information and the temperature, 68.4 degrees, would give you your flow rate. And you can see the operation. That starts the timer and diverts the water, and that'll stop. So pretty straightforward, simple setup, but it operates fairly well. Inside our little control panel, you got a little bit of wiring, nothing crazy. You got 4 different power supplies. We can power 4 different transmitters. We got the timer with the sensor wires coming into that, and just the switches and some terminals and whatnot in there for dispersing power. But that's it, pretty straightforward. At that point, I would just record all those measurements, empty the bucket into the tank, and then reset it. So, bucket's emptied, put that back in position, let it settle here, hit tear just to make sure it's fully teared, and I'm ready for my next run. At this point, I would adjust the flow rate to a different flow rate for the next run, and then rinse and repeat. That's pretty much it.